So I'm just getting around to the Lecrae and God Logic podcast, where Lecrae throws every religious argument at God Logic, and God Logic counters it. I found this one bit about the problem of evil interesting because not only do Lecrae and God Logic assume that they have a monopoly on what good and evil is, but they assume that everyone also borrows from their worldview. Take a listen.
If God is all powerful, all knowing, all good, then he should be able to stop suffering.
Number one, I would ask, where are you getting your definition of good?
Peace. I mean,
Yeah, but why is that good? Who's saying that that's what is good?
it's objectively just better.
When you say objective, that means that it goes beyond just your human opinion, anybody else's opinion. So if I get another collective of humans that say that chaos and mayhem is what is good and beneficial, then
They
are we
won't
wrong?
last very long.
So what? Are we wrong?
Technically, no.
You don't know what good is. However, you're still using it. You're still acting and living out as things that there's such thing as good and there's such thing as evil, appealing to an objective standard while denying the objective standard, stealing from my worldview while trying to argue against my worldview.
Positive and negative results are what matter. Sadly, these are colloquially understood as good and evil. We can point to the benefits of pursuing positive results over negative results. In many ways, we can do the same when pursuing good versus evil. With positives and negatives, the ought comes from the results. With good and evil, the ought comes from God. Results ought versus God ought. We won't always get the results ought right, but there's no one else to blame except ourselves. The problem with the God ought is that it's meaningless for two big reasons. One, God won't enforce his ought because he doesn't want to infringe on free will, and so humans still have to decide if they will follow that ought, just like the results ought. Two, the God ought hinges on justice. We ought to do what's right, or else we'll be punished. But this can be circumvented at any time. Imagine, if I was walking down the street, I see a courthouse, I see a rule that says no poking or deleting people, I turn around, I poke and delete somebody, I go to court, and right before the judge bangs the gavel to give me my sentence, I say, wait. I repent. I changed my ways. I'm really sorry about what I did. And the judge is like, wow, you're free to go. Then what I ought to do literally doesn't matter. It's entirely up to me, just like the results ought. And this is really a 2.5. People who spend their lives knowingly doing what God has deemed as evil can go to the exact same place as people who have spent their lives knowingly doing what God has deemed as good. Lecrae and God Logic are more than welcome to sit across from atheists far more well-read than myself, like Durante Lamar and Alex O'Connor. But God Logic seems to spend most of his time debating Hebrew Israelites and Muslims. That's him. He can do what he wants, but I encourage him to do some research on actual atheist talking points. That way, he can present a defense that's more well-rounded and better equipped. Let's think about what we think about. Like and follow for more.